Hello and welcome to another edition of Mixed Media Menagerie. This month the theme was rain. We are using cool colors, a texture stamp, a toothbrush, and our Artistro paint pens that we got from our sponsor. And this month the drop was made by Nicole. So I am just going to look through all of the goodies that she sent our way and hopefully get some inspiration for what to do with them and what to do for the project this month. This month we also decided to switch things up a little bit and have our videos come out at the beginning of the month and then do the prompts, release the prompts for this month at the same time, so that way you guys have the prompts and our video inspiration at the same time, and then you have the whole month to play along with us and use our inspiration videos to inspire your own journal projects. And then if you use our Mixed Media Menagerie hashtag on Instagram, we will pick a winner for next month's ephemera pack, as well as any supplies from our sponsors will also, give away with that pack. So to start out my video, I am using the Artistro paint pens to make some collage papers, some doodle papers. You can see that I already kind of started on the left there. I have some things that would go with rain, so rainbows, clouds. I have little raindrops on some Kraft paper, packing paper, and now I'm doing it on this, I think that's pieces I cut from a roll of paper I got from IKEA, believe it or not, that white paper. So I'm just using all my different cool colors to make these doodles. Here I'm going to make some little ferns or botanical shapes, and so Artistro sent us the pens that have like the white tubes with the black writing, but then I also purchased some different colors. It's a pack of, I believe it was 10 or 15 colors that are like popular right now, and I really like the color selection. Like the first one that they sent us was, your basic green, blue, purple, pink, and all that, and I liked them so much. It was also like a gold, silver, black, and white, so I decided to get some in some different colors as well, and I'm really happy with the color choices in that like popular colors pack. So I really loved all of these paint chips that Nicole sent in the ephemera pack. So I am taking all of them and I'm just cutting out the middle like words, or I guess the color names. So I just have the color left. And what my plan is to attach them with like staples and glue to the denim page there, to then use it that way. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm just gonna take, I want it to be like not the same colors next to each other, so I'm kind of flipping it around and doing every other color, and then I'm gonna use my stapler to staple it, and then also my glue to adhere it down a little bit. Take some gesso, and I also have this jar of modeling paste mixed with gesso because I really want to make it kind of textured, and I'm just going to go over all of it with the gesso. Now I don't necessarily want it to be like totally opaque, although I guess I do, I don't know. I'm going to make some marks in it, so because I want the color to show through without necessarily you knowing that there's a bunch of paint chips under there. So I'm going to do a lot of, try to build up the texture on here, and then I'm going to take, I tried to use more of this gesso mixed with modeling paste, but it didn't really want to spread very well. So I was kind of having a hard time with it, and it just kind of clumped up. It's cool, it's good to use for other things, but maybe not exactly what I was going for here. I'm taking this bamboo pen, and I wanted to use it to scratch some marks into it, but it really didn't come out as well as I had wanted it. And I thought maybe it was because the colors underneath at the top were a little lighter than the colors, you know, at the bottom, because I had done the flip around. but I think it was just too fine for what I wanted, so I'm going to take my spatula and just make marks across the whole page. Now I'm going to gesso this other side, and I wasn't really thinking about it because I knew I wanted to put some collage papers down on that side, and so I really didn't need to gesso over it, but oh well. And then I also take a pencil and, you know, make some marks in the gesso, and then later on I was like, oh man, why'd I do that? But it is what it is. I'm also taking the pencil and I'm making circles around some of the marks, not all of them, but just like random ones in different areas, just to add a little bit more of something to those those marks on the page. Now I'm going to take some of the collage paper that Nicole sent, as well as some of the papers that I made with the paint pens, and just make, you know, random collage over here. Oh, it's not really a collage, just for a background. So take some matte medium and just build up my background. Now the matte medium has dried, so I am going to take my gesso again and just go over everything to kind of push it into the background as I had wanted previously. So I don't want to lose everything, but I don't want it to be, you know, the foreground, I guess. So I'm just going to do the gesso and then scribble with the pencil. Next I grabbed my watercolors. These are the ocean paper watercolors. I separated them into a cool pan and a warm pan, so or palette, I guess. So this is obviously the cool color palette, and I'm going to use the watercolors to bring some color back to my pages, because you know there's color underneath the gesso, and I didn't want to do something like too crazy out there, I guess, like too super bold, because I like the paper patterns underneath, and I also like, you know, on the other side I like those marks from the what are they, paint chips. So I kind of wanted to keep it a little light. Of course, I always change my mind, so you know that could obviously change later, but for now this is what I wanted to do. Now I'm taking the smaller paint chips that Nicole sent, and just a couple of them, and I am using the paint pens to doodle some botanical shapes onto them, and then I am going to cut those out to use as focal points on my journal pages. So now I'm grabbing my texture stamp. It is an All in Create stamp set that I got from the Kraft store, and I can't remember what it's called, and I thought I had it right here, but I guess I don't. But if you go onto thecraftstore.com or thecraftstore.tv, darn it, one of those two. I'll have the link below in my description. You can use my code, which is Laura10, to get $10 off your order, which is pretty cool. Your order of 20 or more. And they have a bunch of stuff that I haven't been able to really find anywhere else, especially these All in Create stamps, and then there's also some darkroom door stamps and stuff like that. So I think it's a pretty cool thing. And so I'm using the texture stamp to kind of accentuate my corners on this left page a little bit, and then I'm going to grab some of these two little tags and the rub-ons that Nicole sent us, and I'm just going to randomly rub the letters on to the little tags, again to use as like a focal point for the pages. So I pulled out a bunch of stuff that I thought I might want to use to build up my focal points. I have this alterations tag that I got from A Dog's Life on Instagram, Tina Walker. She has a Etsy store where she has a bunch of vintage stuff. So I bought the tags and a few other things, and then I cut out the botanical from the paint chip, and I have some of the papers that Nicole sent, plus some of the papers that I used the pens to make, and I'm just going to kind of go back and forth and figure out how I want everything to be arranged and where I want it and stuff like that, and just, like I said, build up my focal point. Finally decided what I wanted and where I wanted it, so I'm taking my Yes paste and I'm just going to glue it down. The thing I like about Yes paste, and I'm sure I've said it like a million times, is that it doesn't dry right away. So if I decide I want to add something else, or I don't like where I put something, I can always move it later. So that's really nice. And I am taking some of the ledger paper here and I am putting it on this side. I decided I wanted to put like a separate kind of focal point over here. I guess it's just to kind of build up the other one, or accentuate it a little bit. So it's separate, but it will be coherent. That's the word, coherent. So I'm going to take these little botanicals and glue those on there. And I was debating on using some of the rainbow paper on this side too, but I decided against it. I didn't really like it, so I'm just gonna leave it how it is here. So I grabbed one of these Tim Holtz chipboard shapes, or chipboard words, chip phrases. I peeled off the thick chipboard from the back, and now I'm cutting all of the words up, and I am going to kind of separate it a little bit, so that way it flows from one page to the other. And I also am going to take the ink pad and bring that over all of the words. It kind of makes them pop a little bit more, I think. It can get really messy, so like there, my world got really messed up, but I think it makes it pop a little. So now I took my glue and I glued them all down, and I'm kind of moving them around to where I want, and I still wanted to try to use that little tag, and then in the end I decided it wasn't going to work, so we only have one little tag, which is fine. Now I'm going to bust out the toothbrush, and I'm taking some night paint and I'm watering it down, and then I'm going to take my toothbrush and mix it all up and then make some splatters over my page. I will tell you, this got a lot messier, a lot faster than I thought it would. I wanted my splatters to be a little bigger, kind of like that big blob there in the middle, and that's not really what happened, but that's okay. We'll kind of just roll with it. I mean, the theme is rain, and so it's rain. Yeah, but I used my toothbrush, and that is the point. And now I'm taking and just adding some more of the texture stamp to kind of make it a little more cohesive. So I wanted to use my pens a little bit more, so I decided to take the purple colors and make some circles around the marks on this side, right side. Some of them I did around like the already pencil marks that were there, but some of them I made new marks around. So, and I mean, I think it looks kind of cool. But then I was convinced I was done. Like, this is it. I took pictures of the project. I was, that's it. But obviously, I decided it wasn't it. We needed something else. And I think it's because everything was kind of just one color. Like, I know we're supposed to use cool colors, and these are all cool colors, and yeah, it totally could have been done. But it just all looked very white, I guess, and didn't have, the pops of color that I maybe normally do. So I decided to take these vintage number stencils and my spray paint and just kind of spray all over the place, which was a little nerve-wracking because it kind of lost everything that not everything, it lost some of the things that I really liked, but I think it adds a lot more interest. But I'm not going to leave it there. Now I'm going to grab my night gloss spray and spray it into the Liquitex spray paint. So it's kind of neat what happens. Some of the spray goes like under the spray paint and doesn't necessarily mix. Some of it goes on top. It's kind of cool, and I'm gonna let it drip, and then I'm going to spray it with water. So I felt it was a little splotchy. I guess it kind of makes a border a little bit, but then also, I mean, the theme for this month is rain, like I said, and so it kind of adds to that theme a little bit with, you know, the drops coming down and just splattering around and everything like that. And then it also adds more color that I think I was missing. So I really like that I ultimately did this. And then I'm taking the pens, and with all the spraying and all the stuff that I did, I felt like I kind of lost the pop of the words a little bit. So I'm just writing over them, and it totally changes the way the words look. You know, obviously because they're not typed now, they're kind of written. But I think I like it better, actually. And then I'm going to take a gold paint pen and outline all of the words in gold, just to make them pop a little bit more. And then that'll be it. That's it for my project. I hope you enjoy it. I think it definitely came out differently than I was expecting, differently than I was planning, but you know, you kind of just go with it and see what happens. That's the fun of everything. If you're interested in trying these awesome paint pens, use our code 10MMM at artistro.com for a 10% discount. I honestly really do like them quite a bit, and I will be using them more in my doodling projects, in my art journaling projects in general. I think they're really cool, and I think you will too. Make sure that if you play along with us, you post on Instagram under the hashtag Mixed Media Menagerie, and we will randomly pick somebody who plays along to win our next month's ephemera pack, which will include a sponsor item. I think it's some watercolor paper next month. So make sure you do that, and I can't wait to see what you guys create.